This is my sketch illustration of the human skull, and today I'm going to guide you through each of the steps so that you could draw this yourself. So grab a pencil and paper and let's get started. Welcome back everyone, and thanks for joining me today. For this lesson, I'll start off with this 0.7mm mechanical pencil with a 2B graphite stick. Now if you don't have a mechanical pencil, anything you have around the house will work just fine. Now the first thing I'm going to do is set up a drawing with a series of guidelines to help with the balance and symmetry of our drawing. So let's start at the very top in the middle. I'm just going to sketch a line coming down the center. Just pulling the pencil down towards us using these short lines. Now let's go back to the center and draw another line going across from left to right. Now I'm going to use these two lines to help us create a large circle in the center of our page to define the size of the skull. So from that center point, let's move up to right about here. Just going to mark this off. Now we're going to measure this distance from the center down towards the bottom and do the same thing. Let's repeat that across this horizontal line. So measuring the distance from the center over towards the left and then over towards the right. Now I want to connect the center point of each mark with a curve to create our circle. So we start with the top left, just working our way around. And the circle doesn't have to be perfect, we just want to define the size of the skull. So we go back and just smooth this out as best we can. Let's add another set of guidelines coming down from the side of our circle, on the left and right side. And then one more line going across the bottom. Now with the skull, we want to turn the head to look over towards the right side. So we want to find the center point. From the right side of our circle, we're going to step in to right about here. It's going to mark off the center point in between the eyes. Now from here, it's going to curve this up and then blend that out towards the top of our circle. So this will be the center line. And then we're just going to extend that all the way down towards the bottom. From this point, we're going to step up, draw a straight line going across from left to right. And this is going to help us line up the top of the eyes. Over on the left side, let's round out the eye, coming all the way around, and then down towards the bottom. Round this out. I'm just going to pull this all the way up towards the top, towards the top line. Now because the head is turned, the eye on the right is going to appear narrower. So let's start from the top, curve this all the way down towards the same height, and just pull this up towards the side of our circle. In between the eyes, we're going to step down, add the nose bridge curving across, and then over on the right side, angle the nose bridge coming down towards that center line. Let's add a triangle for the front edge of the nose opening. We're going to angle this down towards the bottom, go straight across towards the outside of our circle, and then angle that back up towards the top. Now from the bottom of the nose, let's draw another line going all the way across from left to right, and this will be the bottom edge of the cheeks. From the bottom corner of the nose, let's angle the mouth, coming all the way down, then out, to right about there. I'm just going to pull this all the way across towards that center line. Now we're going to step in, draw the edge of the teeth with a straight line going up. Now we're going to follow this all the way across the cheeks towards the end. Let's angle this up towards the side of the eye. Let's go to the outside. We're going to bump out the cheek, coming down and out, and then pull that back in towards the bottom. Now the teeth along the bottom are going to come down straight, and we'll just flatten that off. And we're going to add that opening across the side of the jaw. So starting up here, draw a straight angled line coming down. We're going to go all the way over towards the outside, draw the outside of the jaw, coming down with a straight angled line towards the middle. And then we'll angle the chin, coming all the way down towards the center of the head, and we're just going to flatten that off. Now that we have the basic shape of the skull, I want to go back and lightly clean this up by erasing some of these guidelines. Now once we finish cleaning up our drawing, I'm going to go back to the eyes and start adding some shape and details. So we want to stay within that bounding area, that rough sketch, but we can modify the shapes. Adding a little bit more detail as we go. And then along the inside of the eye, we're just going to add a fold. Just going to bring that down. Now the shadow is going to be along the inside of the eye. So let's add a fold across the bottom with a little bevel. And we're going to work our way across towards the right. So let's add that crack going across the brow. And then bend the nose bridge going out towards the tip. Just going to add a little more shape along the outside, coming down towards the bottom. Let's work our way across the top. Now right here, I'm just going to add some cracks across the edge of the nose, coming down towards the bottom. Just add that bone in the center and then bring that back down. Add a thin edge on the outside. Now let's tuck the right eye in behind. Start with the brow. I'm just going to pull the eye in and then back out across the bottom. Now I'm just going to work our way around the cheekbones. I'm just going to modify the shape a little bit. Just coming down and then pulling that back in. Let's go back around the mouth and then down towards the teeth. I'm just going to work our way around the cheekbones. Let's add a fold on the inside. Now this is where we come down towards the gum line. So we're just going to lightly sketch a line going all the way across. And then the teeth will sit in this area. So we're going to start back over on the left. Let's add these little curves to the edge of the teeth. Just lightly sketching these in, going all the way over towards the right. And then from each of those points, I'm going to pull a line coming down to separate the teeth. Now each tooth will be a little bit different in shape across the bottom. Add a little bit of that bone across the jaw. Taper that out. Now there's an indent across the side of the head. So just going to blend this in, just following this line, going in towards the eye, then going around the brow. Now we're going to go back and draw that jawbone down towards the bottom. Pulling that back up. And then again, we're just going to add a line going across the gum line. And it'll add those dips, those little curves going across the base. Let's pull those teeth going up. And it'll close off the top, starting with the molars. And again, each of these teeth are going to be a little bit different in shape. Let's work our way across the jaw. Now I can build out the volume of the skull across the back. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger than a circle. Just modify the shape a little bit more so it's not perfectly round. Now we're going to clean up a drawing before we get into details and shading. Now I want to switch to my thicker pencil. This is my 0.9mm. We're just going to add some more contrast to our drawing and also continue to add some more details as we go. So we can add some cracks on the inside of the eyes. Now using our fine pencil, we're just going to add those cracks going across the skull. With this wave from the top, working our way in. Now we're going to add some shadows and various tones. We're going to start by darkening up the inside of the jaw area using a medium tone. And also going in between the teeth. Now I want to add some shadow across the bottom of the skull and then fade that across. And we're going to position the light across the top, coming across the skull. So the shadows sit along the bottom with the highlights across the top. So let's push the shadows inside this area. So we're just going to darken that up and then fade that out. Now with the eyes, I want to darken up the left side and the top, and then fade this across. I'm going to push a little bit of shadow in between the base of each tooth. Also along the top. And then we'll start to shape the face by adding some more shadows across the inside. Let's add some shadow across the bottom of the chin. Again, just fading that up to give this more shape. And go back and add those hairline fractures across the skull. These tiny little lines. As you get closer to the end, I'm just going to tighten up my details and shadows, and always be sure to sign my artwork, and that's pretty much it. There's a sketch illustration of a human skull. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. If you did, you might want to check out this video over here. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.